Hello, this is Ben Television News Roundup, a compilation of major stories in the weekend. I am Tunde Labi. Thank you for being part of the program today. The European Union Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker has agreed a new trade deal with the U.S. President Donald Trump. The new trade agreement has been described as a new phase that will enable the EU and the U.S. trade on zero tariffs on industrial goods apart from cars. The agreement was reached at the White House during Mr. Juncker's visit.
We met right here at the White House to launch a new phase in the relationship between the United States and the European Union, a phase of close friendship, of strong trade relations in which both of us will win, of working better together for global security and prosperity, and of fighting jointly against terrorism. The United States and the European Union together count for more than 830 million citizens and more than 50% of the global GDP. In other words, together we're more than 50% of trade. If we team up, we can make our planet a better, more secure, and more prosperous place. Already today, the United States and the European Union have a $1 trillion bilateral trade relationship, the largest economic relationship anywhere in the world. We want to further strengthen this trade relationship to the benefit of all American and European citizens. This is why we agreed today, first of all, to work together towards zero tariffs, zero non-tariff barriers, and zero subsidies on non-auto industrial goods. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We will also work to reduce barriers and increase trade in services, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, medical products, as well as soybeans. Soybeans is a big deal. And the European Union is going to start almost immediately to buy a lot of soybeans. They're a tremendous market. Buy a lot of soybeans from our farmers in the Midwest primarily. So I thank you for that, Jean-Claude. This will open markets for farmers and workers, increase investment, and lead to greater prosperity in both the United States and the European Union. It will also make trade fairer and more reciprocal, my favorite word, reciprocal. Secondly, we agreed to a strengthening of our strategic cooperation with respect to energy. The European Union wants to import more liquefied natural gas, LNG, from the United States, and they're going to be a very, very big buyer. We're going to make it much easier for them, but they're going to be a massive buyer of LNG, so they'll be able to diversify their energy supply, which they want very much to do, and we have plenty of it. Thirdly, we agreed today to launch a close dialogue on standards in order to ease trade, reduce bureaucratic obstacles, and slash costs dramatically. Fourthly, we agreed to join forces to protect American and European companies from better and really better than ever. We've never done like we're doing. I can say from the standpoint of the United States, we've never done this well, but we're going to do a lot better after we do this deal and other deals that we're currently working on. Likewise, the European Union is going to do better, stronger, bigger. We will therefore work closely together with like-minded partners to reform the WTO and to address unfair trading practices, including intellectual property theft, forced technology transfer, industrial subsidies, distortions created by state-owned enterprises, and overcapacity. We decided to set up immediately an executive working group of very intelligent people on both sides. They'll be our closest advisors, and they're going to carry out this joint agenda. In addition, it will identify short-term measures to facilitate commercial exchanges and assess existing tariff measures and what we can do about that to the betterment of both. While we are working on this, we will not go against the spirit of this agreement unless either party terminates the negotiation. So we're starting the negotiation right now, but we know very much where it's going. We also will resolve the steel and aluminum tariff issues, and we will resolve retaliatory tariffs. We have some tariffs that are retaliatory, and that will get resolved as part of what we're doing.
Heat waves have swept through most countries in Europe, with temperature rising above 32 Celsius in most places. Meanwhile, authorities are beginning to count the cost the wildfire that destroyed homes and killed people in Greece. More than 80 people have reportedly been killed and several cities ravaged by wildfires in Greece.
Flames have swept through villages in coastal Greece not far from Athens, destroying everything in their path. Hundreds have escaped into the sea to be rescued by boats. Rescuers are searching for survivors and bodies in houses where fires have been extinguished.
We don't have any hope to find any alive. An hour before, from other street, then the next block from here, they find a body in the house. I think for the next days we continue find bodies. It's a very huge area that we have to search.
Unusual heat and drought sparked forest fires as far north as Latvia and Sweden. The Swedish Air Force on Wednesday used bombs in some areas for the first time to fight the fires. A Swedish military officer explained that the pressure from the bomb blasts takes away the oxygen which fuels the fire.
This is an area where there are risks of unexploded ammunition, so it is difficult to use regular methods to put out the fire. Why did we try this out? The preliminary results are that the fire was extinguished in a radius of about 100 meters.
Parts of France, including the greater Paris area, have been put on high alert for rising heat waves. The heat has caused ozone pollution levels to rise in the French capital, and high-emission vehicles were denied entry into Paris and the outskirts on Wednesday. Britain, famous for its cold and rainy summers, has had an unusually hot July. The temperature in London reached 30 degrees Celsius on Wednesday.
It's way too hot and people aren't used to it. The buildings aren't air-conditioned. There's not enough water fountains, the buses, the trains, unbelievable.
European zookeepers have extra work keeping the animals cool.
The gorillas are getting frozen cucumbers today. The bearded pigs are getting nice cold showers in a muddy wallow. We're obviously really mindful of the amount of water we're using in this heat wave, so we're very careful doing things like that, making sure that perhaps some of the water that we use for cleaning we spare today and save that for the pigs.
The temperatures in many European capitals are expected to reach their peak on Thursday and Friday.
Muslims and Christians are living together in the small Muslim-dominated communities in Niger, and they've been worshipping together for more than 60 years. The town is known for its peaceful coexistence among the residents, many of whom share different religious beliefs.
In a busy town on the Sahelian trade route cutting across southern Niger, Muslims and Christians have found a way to honor each other's religion. 98% of the people here in BENTVNEWSROUNDUP are Muslims, but that hasn't stopped them from sharing their company with Christians. Muslim Alhaji Umar Osi says the town takes pride in its inclusion.
This is really interesting to have church and mosque on the same ground, side by side. People are worshipping their Lord in peace without conflict.
Christian Adme Pelagi Marius says it is religious acceptance built on mutual respect.
Sincerely, we Christian women who are here in BENTVNEWSROUNDUP, we're living peacefully. We have no major differences with our neighbors.
Muslim Romana Tunuhu says her mosque sharing a compound with the church helps bring two communities together.
Sometimes they invite us to their ceremonies, even though we have different understanding about religion. This cannot be the reason not to stay together.
Mayor Munkael Soka says that togetherness shows his town's commitment to peaceful coexistence.
There are no problems between Muslim and Christian in BENTVNEWSROUNDUP, and it is our desire to build on the peace and tranquility.
That tranquility has been strained at times. During renovation in 2011, the church was damaged by some young Muslims who also stole some items. Local Imam Malam Muhammadu Dan Wazifa says Muslim leaders quickly came to their neighbors' defense.
It was a little misunderstanding among some youth that resulted in arrest. We could not tolerate that. This area is known for peace and harmony, and conflict has always been resolved through communication. This enables us to have a better understanding of each other.
Birnin Kwanne Christian Arzik Aladan says it was a moment that showed everyone the strength of cooperation here.
When the unrest began, I was optimistic because it was not being carried out by people who are well-informed Muslims.
Local politicians and religious leaders have worked together to promote religious acceptance here. District official Ibro Salifu Dangaladima says that makes Birnin Kwanne an example for the nation.
We are pleased with the level of peace here. Even if it's rare in Africa to have a church and a mosque within confined space, where people from both religions pray and live harmoniously.
Following the 2011 incident, the church here was renamed Our Lady of Dialogue to reflect this town's commitment to religious tolerance.
The rise in political tension in Nigeria seems not to be going anywhere soon. More than 45 lawmakers in both the Senate and the House of Representatives elected on the platform of the ruling All Progressive Congress APC decamped to the main opposition party. The defectors accused the ruling party of lack of internal democracy, high-handedness, political witch hunt, and executive overzealousness.
Mr. President, we have our internal challenges, and as a political party, we all know how so much efforts by so many stakeholders to address the issues that bedevil this party. Mr. President, the disagreements do not translate into factionalization. I therefore feel that our senators, our brothers of the APC stock, do not have to move to any other party.
Leaders, as you know, I'm sure you've seen that the seat beside you is absent. As we speak now, the Deputy Senate President cannot get out of his house. He's under siege. This morning, I could not also in my own street as well. All by efforts by some people that believe that today's sitting must not hold because some members want to move or defect. This is not something that has started today. It will not end today. People have gone, they've come back, as you rightly said. But these kind of actions does not allow for what you are saying. You are speaking as a leader of the Senate who has been here for many years. And as such, but how the someone like DSPs are talking to him now, he can't come out of his house. Being siege. So these are the challenges. But it appears, even as I'm speaking to you now, I think I read you 14 names. I just have to add one more sentence. Yako just added his name to the list, to page 15. So, but the point you have made is well noted, and I hope that we must save this democracy. People have free association. They can even go back tomorrow. I've been sitting here, I think over 15 people have decamped or defected to one party or the other. There will be no siege. People have come here, they've moved, they've got off, they've moved across. We have even joked and just and pulled them back. I don't believe that this should come to this level where people will be dead under siege for something that is, at the end of the day, is personal to them. So it's noted. Thank you.
Mr. President, this morning, I left Enugu for Abuja to be in today's sitting. Halfway into the airport, I had a distress call from the personnel, the aides working with the distinguished Senator Ike Ekweremadu, the Deputy Senate President, that their master, that their house and the streets, the entire streets, has been cordoned off. That the Deputy Senate President or the staff or anybody from his compound could not move out of his house or gain entry into the compound. As I'm talking, the people of Enugu State resident in Abuja have all called all of us here. They have moved to his house and are there shouting under the rain that they don't know what is happening to our brother from Enugu State. What offense he has committed that will warrant that he will not be allowed to come out from his house or allow any visitor to move into his house. The children and the wife that go to work, none of them could go to work today. All of them were stopped from coming out from their houses. And the people are worried. We want to know what Senator Ike Ekweremadu has done to warrant that he cannot move out from his house. We have insinuations that today's sitting is going to be turbulent. We had insinuations, my people told me, that they said today's sitting will not hold. My people told me that they heard that some people are going to defect. And because of that, that they don't want him to come to the sitting. They also told me that they don't want the Senate President to come, so that nobody will be here. Both the presiding officers will not be here. But we thank God here today that the Senate President is in this place. But my brother from Enugu State could not come here today. He wished to be in these chambers, Mr. President. And I'm using this opportunity, speaking the minds of all the people from Enugu State and the entire southeast region of this country, and Nigerians, the lovers of democracy, and people who want freedom, that everybody should call the Mr. President, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, to call, to give directive to all the agencies that have cordoned the house of Ekweremadu, to leave his house alone, to leave his house and vicinity, and allow him to come out from the imprisonment he has been subjected since 7 a.m. this morning. Mr. President, this is uncalled for. This is not going to help our democracy. Our people are afraid. Our people are crying over there. If you go to his house here, all the Enugu people and beyond the southeast region are all there clamoring and crying under the rain that the freedom of Ekweremadu should be restored, and that of every member who is here doing the business of legislation should be given free rein to speak his mind on any issue of importance that touches his heart. Mr. President, I thank you and ask our colleagues here to rise in unison and speak here and ask that Ekweremadu should regain his freedom.
I think that the security agencies, well, the police, should be able to vacate his premises. If there's any reason for them to invite him, they should invite him. And of course, we'll honor them. But this idea is causing a lot of fears in the people.
Development like this has never happened before since the return of democracy in 1999.
First prayer is that the Senate resolve to demand that the security agency vacates the Deputy Senate President's house immediately and allow him to enjoy his constitutional rights. Those in favor of prayer one say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Those adjourned to the September 25th. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
The people who came to block my house morning. And in anticipation of that, the APC leadership had tried to stop them. And when that didn't happen, first they invited the Senate President to come to the police this morning. And they believe that if the Senate President goes to the police, that I will be coming to preside and probably read the letter of defection. So in anticipation of that, the police, the EFCC, and other security agencies got together a number of people, over 200 of them, to come to make sure that I don't go to the National Assembly. They purportedly came with a letter inviting me to come to the EFCC and give explanation over things they said my names were mentioned in one of the investigations. In the hope that they would also have stopped the Senate President by asking him to come to the police. So unfortunately to them, Senate President was already at the Senate. And so he had to preside. So when I heard he was going to the Senate, I kept relaxed until they got tired and left. So that is actually what happened. But that is not a good day for democracy. That's a good thing for this country. We must know how to respect the law, respect institutions, because that is the only way we can make progress as a country. This is a total embarrassment to our nation. And I hope that this will not happen again.
So are you worried about this development?
Very, very worried, because this is, as I said, this is a decline in our democracy. Democracy is almost dying. So you need to rise up. I want to call the media, the people of Nigeria, the international community, to stand up with Nigeria to ensure that we save our democracy. But what we are seeing now is a dangerous development, and it is not good for our democracy. Nigeria is a leading light in Africa. The whole world expects Nigeria to lead democratic principles. And if we don't do that, then we are leading from the back. So this is not good for us. So we need to overcome this kind of thing and be able to make progress and show the world that Nigerians are indeed leaders in every aspect of life.
Sir, many politicians, many political watchers say that this is a total war declared on democracy. Do you think that your democracy has been under threat?
Definitely, because this is essentially my official quarters. So it means that the invasion of my official quarters is the invasion of aspect of National Assembly. So when you invade the National Assembly, you are invading the tempo of democracy. So that's exactly what has happened today.
With that report from Nigeria, we conclude the news roundup for this week. Thank you for being part of the program. I'm Tunde Alabi. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.
Regardless, resident status abroad, living outside the shores of one's homeland can really be challenging and sometimes very difficult. Let's be sincere, to keep pace with artists from the host country abroad can really be difficult. Here on Dialogue in Diaspora, we give you every information, every news, every current issue you need to know on happenings outside the UK. Dialogue in Diaspora is your link between the world and the United Kingdom. It's your window to African development. Here, live on BEN Television.